day. Your job's a joke, you broke, your love life's the away. It's like you're always stuck in second gear, when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to fall. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you 'cause you're there for me too. You're still in bed at 10 and work again at 8. You burned your breakfast so far, things are going great. Your mother warned you there'd be days like these, but she didn't tell you when the world was brought you down to your knees. That I'll be there for you when the rain starts to fall. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you 'cause you're there for me too.
Lockdown level up. Day 15.
15.
8:24. We're late. Technology. Well, it's not really technology. Alistair, charge your laptop when it runs out the night before.
We should have just said you were stuck in traffic.
I was stuck.
It's more exciting.
We all make mistakes, as Danny said. We're all human.
Yeah.
And today's topic is friends and family. And how can you level up with them, or
Together.
level up as a friend, level up together. Where do we start, Danny? Do we clear them out and say, I'm leveling up, I need some new ones?
No, I think it's important to realize who's kind of for you and who supports you when you want to level up. I think that's important, is acknowledging who's around you and who supports you and who's kind of bringing you down, if that makes sense. And then I think it's also important to recognize if you're one of those people, maybe you don't want to see someone succeed because you're scared of your own failures. So I think it's just, wow. No, I just think that it's important to acknowledge that first, where you are in comparison to everyone around you, and then in order for you to all grow together, then you all need to be on the same level, you know.
Very true. And that is the failings you see in other people are often the failings you see within yourself, which is so true, because I get greatly annoyed by people's poor timekeeping, yet my timekeeping is the worst of anybody I know. And it is, for me, it's like a lifetime level up. I can't change that in 28 days. I've not been able to change it in 37 years. So it's,
don't give your age away, Alistair.
Well, I did say 37 years. What if I was graded it for 12?
Oh,
I'm actually 49.
Yeah, we don't know when you started this.
Based on this haircut, I could be 49. Based on this face, I could be 25.
Hey, look. Got the George Clooney look going on there. Silver fox.
Silver fox. But the friends, if you want friends to be a certain way, you have to be that way yourself. If you want people to check in on you, you need to check in on other people.
Yeah, I think it works both ways. It really does.
But how much more can you get together? Can you achieve together?
Yeah.
If you are in, and it's not so much about, like, my friendship group prior to joining James Smith Academy, I would say was very narrow. In fact, I had probably a mindset of, I've got 5 really close friends and I don't need any more than that. because I saw people who had more friends than that, or people who called people friends that more than that, as being like a popularity contest.
Yeah. So the more friends you have, the better the person you are, really.
Yeah, when that comes from school, the person who had like the hundreds of people that they knew, or that they were, it was about popularity.
Yeah, they were higher in the hierarchy. Hierarchy.
Yes, and they were in the upper echelons. So
Yeah, exactly. There were the different cliques that were formed.
yeah,
It's exactly
and
the same.
you know, they were often maybe not the popular people because of what you would deem now as being a reason for to be popular. But I think having a bigger network is or can only be an advantage,
Yeah.
as long as though that network can be, and that network can be big or small, but if it's filled with the wrong people, then,
It's
and
massively influential.
I'm not saying negative people all the time. They might just not be the right people for you in the place that you are. And so you're within the James Smith Academy. I found a whole load of people that were complementary to where I was,
Mm.
because my friends weren't interested in that. They didn't have the weight to lose like I wanted. They weren't interested in fitness in that way. They were on a slightly different path. We had common interests still, and they were lifelong friends, but they might have had a different, agenda. I guess is, they were
Yeah,
looking for
but
different things.
I think that, we don't all have to have the same interest and be interested in the same thing or have the same mindset. But I think that if, for me, I would only surround myself around people who share the same values. So not in terms of like me wanting to lose weight. If they don't want to lose weight, I'm not going to be like, all right, I'm not a friend. I'm just saying in generally, if they value the things that I do, like integrity and happiness and just wanting to be a great person and just wanting to live life, things like that, I like to surround myself around people like that who want to grow as well and who have a zest for life. Their interests, that's totally up to them. But I like to have people in me who who will make me want to be better too.
Absolutely. So how do we, or how would you say that it's important to, how do you grow that, or how do you add new people in? How do you make sure that you engage with your old friends, your family?
I think it's all
So
about, it's communication, isn't it? With friendships and relationships and everything, it's just communication. So I have two best friends back home in South Africa, which is probably the most difficult thing because you can't be there for, when they're down, or you can't be there to celebrate their success, to watch milestone events like them have kids, obviously weddings, definitely. But I've been best friends with them for over 15, 20 years, each one. And it's all about communication. But I'm not talking about constant communication. I'm just saying we're on the same level. So I know it's difficult. We all have different lives, different time zones. So if I don't reach out to you in, say, a month, you're not going to be upset because we're just living our life. But best believe I'm always there if you need me.
mhm.
So we have that pattern where we'll reach out every month or so and just say, check in, see how everyone's doing, catch up. Okay, great. But if I'm literally just a phone call away if you need me outside of that. So there's that constant communication in our own way. I think that's the understanding that we have. So communication is key for that.
Something that somebody said to me, I don't know, maybe a year ago, 18 months ago, was a missed call is enough to show somebody that you were thinking of them.
Mm.
And it's so true that just a message, just a quick call, and it's I think the best of friends can I be identified with, like, I remember meeting up with a friend who I hadn't seen for about 5 years, and we've all got these situations where you meet up and it's like the conversation just carried on.
Yeah, I love that.
No matter how, and it's like, how cool is that? You know that you're on the same level. You know you're in the same pot. Then as when it's like that,
You just pick
even
up where
that
you
period
left
of
off.
time
Yeah.
can go. But and it's something that somebody mentioned to me the other day actually was letters. What's the difference?
So old school.
Yeah, but is it nice to receive a handwritten letter?
Do you know what? Anything with effort is just well appreciated, I think, and thoughtful. I think it takes the like, because a text message is a text message, isn't it? But a letter, there's a lot of effort that goes into a letter.
And I think you probably write differently.
Yeah.
Than texting.
Yeah, you have more time to think about your words.
Absolutely, and yeah, you probably get more emotion out through it. And I'm not necessarily saying bad emotion, just more, and you'll probably be a lot more descriptive.
Yeah, it's also a lot more personal because it's their handwriting. So I think there's a lot of more value into it, isn't it? It's a lot more, you get a lot attached to it, and it's something that you can keep forever. Whereas if you lose your phone, that's your messages gone unless you have them backed up somewhere amongst all the others.
And sometimes, like, we were chatting about WhatsApp groups and things, and when all these groups are just filled with memes or videos, and there's no meaningful
It's just
conversation.
saturated. Yeah.
Sometimes it goes from one to the other. And what I've found really quite funny recently is, when you're chatting to somebody in one format like WhatsApp, but then you're having another conversation with the same person at the same time on Instagram.
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
Like, this isn't even, it's almost like we're speaking to different people, but it's the same person.
Yeah.
And
then you got Facebook Messenger, sending pictures on Facebook Messenger. It's just crazy. There's all these platforms and you're having different conversations with the same person.
Whereas at once in our life, you had to meet up with that person to have the conversation or phone them. And it's on at the same time. Okay, will you be home at 7 o'clock? Yeah, okay, I'll ring at 7. Nobody commits to stuff like that anymore.
No. It's quite, look, don't get me wrong, technology is great for, like, especially during lockdown where we can do this and we can communicate with other people. But sometimes I would love to go back to where we just didn't have it and just see how relationships were formed and maybe they were striving better without the technology, and if everyone was obviously more happier. I'd love to compare for myself.
I was chatting to somebody about 4 to 6 weeks ago, and they said they were observing 2 kids.
I love it, like 4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks, give or take.
They're there or thereabouts. And they were saying that they've been observing somebody in somebody's kids in a play park, right? And which isn't wrong, okay? It's, they were, but one kid went up to the other kid and was like, "I've got a pocket." And the other kid was like, "I've got a pocket too." And they were like, and then from that, it was like, "Do you want to be friends?" Done.
Amazing.
Yeah. And they might have only been friends for that time in the play park.
But they had the best fun.
Yeah. And it's just a way of connection. Like, we never approach people in the street or in the pub, or like sometimes you get chatting to somebody and you're like, "What was that guy's name?" We're like, "I don't know what that guy's name was." Sometimes you just get into these conversations, but it shows us that we can make a connection with so many people over the smallest of things.
Of course.
And
maybe it blossoms into something great. You'll end up being friends for coming years.
Yeah, yeah. I remember,
the end of
when you
time.
used to go on holiday and you come back and you'd be like, "I've got new friends," and then you would never hear from them again. So
Never.
I'm still friends with somebody on Facebook. I was right, and we went on holiday before Facebook. We exchanged emails, a couple of emails. Then 5 or 6 years later, added me on Facebook, and occasionally we drop each other a message. And it's like that is the extent of the friendship.
Yeah, that's as far as that's the limit.
It's all I know about him is he's a truck driver. When I met him, he was maybe 8 or 10 years old. He wanted to be a truck driver because his granddad was had a haulage company, and he's doing it. He lives in West Wales, and that's about occasion. And occasionally, I have seen his truck out on the motorway. I'm like, I know who that is. It's like,
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, it's just so simple. But yeah, there's so many. I'm sure everybody's got these examples.
And it's nice to be friends with different people. I mean, it sounds stupid, right? But I really want like a pen pal that's in prison. It sounds weird. I'd just like to know.
You might get one now.
If anyone's out there listening to this, no, I'm kidding. But I just like to know about their life and just, I'm just interested in something like that. But I don't think it's possible. It would probably just be weird. Like Dave said, you're not going to do that. I was like, fine, won't get a prison pen pal then. That sounds weird, but does it make sense? Like they
getting
just
to know.
I
Getting to know with somebody without even knowing who they are, like just a perspective.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
exactly.
that there must be, Danny, just a book out there you can read of like prison letters or something like that.
Maybe, but would it be the same? No, I don't think so.
Okay, cool, right. Danny is on a quest. Did not know that about you. Cool.
No, it's true though. You can like you can adopt an elephant or something. Like I just want to. I just want one of those. Like, oh. Anyways, moving on. Yes, so your support is very important. So make sure
I will support you.
Don't write to a prisoner.
Adopt a prisoner.
I think it's just because, like, I don't know, I'm too soft-hearted. I want to be like, are you okay?
Yeah, well, fine, thanks.
There's a reason why they're in prison, though.
I'm intrigued to see how that works out for you.
Ooh.
I'm in Camp Dave with that one.
Yeah, this is everyone's reaction when I say this is why I haven't told you.
Well, as your coach, I will use my skills to put you down a different path.
Strongly advise against that. Okay.
So cool. Yeah, I think checking in with your friends and your family, especially at the moment when it's very easy to live a very narrow life within your own four walls, and when you start to take things away from people, we all adapt and we all adjust, and all it takes is a little bit less. You take a little bit less off of somebody, a little bit more of somebody, a little bit more of somebody, a little bit more of somebody, until they're completely comfortable with nothing. And that can happen with friendship groups and family very easily if you're not checking in, if you're not just dropping them a message. We all live very busy lives, and sometimes we become all encompassed in what we're doing without thinking about what is happening in somebody else's life. But
and you never know. A simple message could make their day.
It's not just about that. Sometimes you pick up the phone and you realize you're struggling as well.
Yeah.
And that they're able to support you. Sometimes just mentioning what you've been up to, and they go, "Oh, why have you tried this?" And you're like, "Fuck! Why didn't you? You know me so well."
It's different perspective, but at the same time, having a conversation with someone should be kept quite like positive. You don't want a relationship or communication based on like gossiping. spending the
Yeah,
time on
or
phone,
just
gossiping
when
or
you
being
only ring that
negative.
person if you're down.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
I think
so
it's
I've
important to share each other's success as well and be excited for them. I think that's also what stems a great friendship, is wanting what's best for them.
absolute champion in them.
Yeah, it's not gonna make your progress any different, but supporting them and being excited and just being freaking happy.
But being a cheerleader for them as well.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Empowering them.
get your pom poms out.
Okay, let's go.
I was just waiting to see what happened. I was waiting for the chant. FRIENDS, friends. Woo.
Ready? Okay.
um, and I was in the middle of trying to wrap it up, and Danny's throwing me off the scent. The one last tip that I've got, and it came from a coach that I've used many times, and he suggested something I've passed on to people as well. Every day, open your phone book and scroll until it stops and ring that person, and do that once a day.
If it's British Gas.
All right. Your customer? No. Who's this?
I get what you mean though. It's a very good idea.
Well, okay. If it's British Gas, ring British Gas. You might just get a giggle out of it. You never know. I've been watching these guys online, and they suggested to scroll through my phone book and ring the first person that landed.
Yeah.
It was you.
Ta-da!
Who am I speaking with? And if you do that, record the conversation and tag us in it, because that would be quite funny.
It would be.
But yeah, ring random people, and you'll either get their voicemail. You don't know what you're going to get on the other end. You might even get that number no longer is who you thought it was, or that number no longer exists. Get it out of your phone book. Bit of tidy up as per yesterday as well.
Mm-hmm.
But you might just speak to somebody who you have a conversation with, you reconnect, and you build a friendship. They might be able to present a business opportunity. They might be able to support you with something. You never know. And it's when I go through periods of doing it, and then you go back to life and you forget what you were doing. But it's quite incredible what happens when you do that, because that person is not, the likelihood is that person is not expecting your phone call. But what if it is one of your friends and you think, cool, and they're like, how you doing? I just phoned you because you were the first person that landed. And yeah, you can have, but it's also good. It's good to connect.
Yeah, I love that.
Use FaceTime, use Zoom, drop people a text message.
Write to them in prison.
Write to the prisoners. And sometimes, and we learned this in last lockdown, neighbourly. And I live in a really good street for neighbours, really, really good street, where we all know each other. How about you just go and knock on a random neighbour's door and just check in with them?
Yeah, I do you know what? Sorry, quick one. I did that when I first moved in. I went and I wrote a letter to everyone because we were in lockdown, and I just said, "Hi, I've moved in. This is my number. If you need anything, if you need any help with like exercise and stuff, I'm here for you." Because I know it can be a bit annoying that you can't get out and stay active. So if you need some advice, let me know. Gave them a box of chocolates, and I actually only received a response from 2 people. I think I have 6 people in the block, and one of them was an older guy who said that no one does that anymore. And he rang me up and he called me, and now we're friends, and now I have to check up on him quite often. But it's just interesting that he says no one does that anymore. I thought it was quite sad.
No, you're right. Nobody does do that anymore. You know, nobody says hi to people when they're walking past them in the park. You know, and if we want that to change, it's on
We have to change it.
us. There's nobody else.
Yeah.
So, you know, we stopped communicating, so we need to start communicating. And on that note, tomorrow, Danny, what day is it?
It's Friday then.
Yeah. No. Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow is.
Yeah. You'll be able to sing it tomorrow. It's him.
It's the 16th. 20. Oh, okay. I got it.
Tomorrow we're going to talk about technology and check us out, planning in advance.
Yeah.
Just as a side note, yesterday, I didn't even realize, was episode number 50 of Conversations with.
Woo.
So today's 51. So here's to 100.
Yes.
Yeah, we've only been 6 months, pretty much bang on 6 months.
Been smashing it. Absolutely
And
amazing.
we don't plan to stop. Because Danny, we don't quit.
We don't quit.
It's back. So happy Thursday. Go listen to all the other ones. Leave us comments, write us some reviews, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, like, share, and tag
All
us
that
with
stuff.
hashtag Lockdownlevelup.
See you tomorrow.
Adios. Ciao.